Six-a-rooney.
Yeah, I think Tornado's trying to kill me.
Oh yeah, I heard you shouting at her right beforehand. What'd she do?
No, I was just I just grabbed some treats out of the fridge and I was going to bring them over to her so that she could hang out in her kitty condo and watch the show and hang out with us. And then she like just loves to crisscross right in front of me, like just dart right in front of my feet as I'm walking. I was like, does she know that she's my beneficiary on my life insurance policy? Do you think that she knows? I hope she
Carlos does the same thing. That's just sort of a cat thing. They're not like focusing on how you walk. They're just like, I want to be in front of your feet or inside your feet.
Yeah,
and you're fucked, buddy.
Yeah, she's almost killed me numerous times, and if I died, no one would know for like 7 days. Or
I feel that way sometimes too. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I guess till the next GAMESCAST, so Friday.
They might smell you through the walls or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, if they're not coming in from the smell already, then they're not going to come in from the smell.
This is a great intro, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Happy Monday, folks.
I don't think that's.
No, it's not Monday.
Nope. Let's start the show. This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. We do that live right here. You can watch the video now, you can watch it later, you can do whatever you want. And if you're not really a video kind of person, don't forget that you can always go over on SoundCloud and listen to it there. And soon...
I thought it was Spotify, Brian.
Is it Spotify?
You said Spotify last time. I thought for sure we were on Spotify.
It's totally Spotify.
SoundCloud doesn't sound as exciting as being on Spotify. Everybody's on SoundCloud.
I'm so happy it's Spotify and you're right. Thank you for correcting me. And soon to be streaming services of your choice.
All over the world.
So don't forget to go over there and check us out. Also, don't forget to check out our Discord. Links in the description. That's where we hang out all the time. This conversation happens 24/7. And, of course, Donatello, the Science Game Cat. It's always putting up the question of the day over there, a reason to come back day after day after day. Also, get your name on that Patreon, scroll down bottom of the screen, patreon.com/withoutparole and head on over to our Instagram account because Miles Dyer is in charge of that shit. And he put up a quiz. It's a PlayStation VR quiz. I think I only got 4 out of the 5 questions right.
I'm going to take it right now. I didn't know that. I'm going to take a quiz.
Yeah, this seems like the right time to do that.
Well, yeah, it'll be great.
My name's Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and the guys to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station
Wow, dude, that was
a lot. That was too much for me.
Yeah, me too. I was rocking.
Unsubscribe.
I've never.
If I wasn't clicking my way to a fucking quiz, I would have told you to shut up.
Guys, next time I'll just make up an intro off the top of my head, okay? So.
And that guy on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Dave? What is up, Game Cats? And some developers. What's up, Endeavor One? Still want that Beanie Haru. Want that Beanie Haru, Endeavor One. You know, Endeavor One was in the.
What are you talking about? A beanie
Discord.
Dog? Like putting a beanie on the wolf?
I want Haru DLC or like Haru skins to unlock, and I really just want like a demon skin for Haru. Have my little demon dog. You know, Endeavor One was trolling me so hard in Discord yesterday. They were convincing me that their movement scheme for their upcoming game, Arashi Castles of Sin. Everybody make sure you go look at the trailer. Go look at our coverage or discussions on it because it looks freaking fantastic. They had the gall to tell me that the movement scheme was you press the trigger to move forward. And I was like, oh, no.
Was that a lie?
It was a lie. It was a lie. I think it was a lie. I don't know.
They're sneaking. Was that a lie?
There. But
you are the father.
You said you.
But I was like,
you told her
I
once that you never
them.
cheated on her and that you've always been faithful. Was that a lie?
I DM'd them and I was like, guys, I have serious concerns about this game now. And they were like, just messing with me, sneaky. Anyways, what is up, guys? Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hopefully you did lots of humping all of today.
Never.
And more in this week.
Never.
You never?
I sit here alone. Who am I humping? Anyways, go on.
That's pretty insane.
But yeah, man. Well, hopefully we can make your Wednesday get you through the rest of the week. Be awesome words and stuff, you know.
It's gonna be one of those shows. Oh, okay.
Yep.
No, you could have warned me, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready. I'm ready to roll.
Endeavor
with the
1 has clarified you have to tape the move controllers to your feet to actually use the movement scheme in that. Okay. It's very complex. Very, just like every developer that has thought of their own control scheme instead of researching what works, it always works out right, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
I mean,
always.
Who doesn't like leaning forward to move forward? Golem. Guys, we have a lot of news to talk about today. So much news, in fact, that I think it bled into Friday's show already. So, but let's get to it, man. Let's get to our very first news story of the day.
That is correct, Brian. There's so much news and stuff to talk about that we are saving some of it for Friday. So if you don't hear something, think we forgot something, just wait till Friday. We got it covered. Trust me. We have no lives other than PSVR. We're aware of everything that's happening. But today, guys, PlayStation's Twitter announced saying Blast to the Beat in Rhythm and Bullets Definitive Edition coming to PSVR on July 22nd. That's tomorrow. With enhancements like unlockable ship skins and a new level theme. The Definitive Edition, guys. I know you were waiting for this.
I mean, had you guys ever heard of this game before today?
I had not heard of this. No, I had not.
Yeah, neither had I. But apparently it's been out for quite a while in other places. And you know what? Here, let's make that happen instead. How about, there we go. Okay. Yeah, and I looked up online. I looked on Steam, and I was like, oh, maybe Steam can tell us what's going on here. Maybe there's some good user reviews. The game's been out for like 2 years over there, or at least a year. I forget. I don't know math. And 0 user reviews, which doesn't say anything about the game at all. It just says a lot about people's interest in said game. So
yeah, that's never a good sign. I mean, this didn't look like a blockbuster. And to be honest, when you come out calling something the definitive edition, I start getting roller coaster dreams. Or not, no, roller coaster, well, whatever. Yeah, darkness roller coaster.
There you go. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't blown away by what I saw, but I will play it and see.
Yeah, I mean,
not the Flash. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Starship Disco was I think the first game that kind of did this. I actually really liked Starship Disco. I thought it was really fun. It did what it did. It did really well.
That.
And you had like 2 ships, one in each hand, and you were shooting little as spaceships. And it wasn't, I wouldn't say bullet hell or like a great shooter. It was more like a a rhythm game, which this game is. But this seems to fall more in the line of like a shoot 'em up, right? And I was like, so I've always wanted to see people experiment a little bit more with that formula, and I guess this is going to be that experiment that I was looking for. But I don't know. It just doesn't. There's something missing here.
I don't know if that's what anybody was looking for exactly. To be fair.
AJ, what are you thinking, man?
Well, dare I say that I, in fact, love Starship Disco. I think it's a lot of fun.
You guys are freaks.
Wait, really?
I'm not going to say it's the greatest game ever.
That I dislike it. We've had this argument many times. I don't think it's a good game at all. I think it sucks. But
I think it's pretty cool. But I just talk about the base game. I haven't played the thing. This game, not the flashiest of games, especially with what we've been spoiled rotten with lately, and are gonna be spoiled with in the next couple weeks, couple months, whatever you want to call it, over the summer. We have a lot of stuff, a lot of huge games. So this is a smaller title. I typically like to give it a chance, but visually, it's definitely not like super impressive. I don't think it's blowing anybody away. But I think if as long as it's fun to play, have a little bit of fun with it. As long as it's super cheap and fun to play, I will be cool with it.
Super cheap is a big part of that equation.
Yeah.
It's $10. I talked to Blake Gross over there at DB Games.
Okay, that's not bad.
And it is coming out tomorrow for anyone who missed the announcement, which is, it's always exciting to get a game, regardless of what kind of game it is. You hear we're announcing it today and it comes out tomorrow. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna check it out. $10.
$10. Well, looking at the full gameplay stuff, there is like some variations to to the levels and stuff. It looks like it offers a little bit more than what you see. I don't know which trailer you're running, but the one that you had sent me was definitely an old one.
I bounce back and forth. I got the new one and the old one.
Okay, but yeah, looking at the newer stuff, there's like some different looking tracks and stuff. So I don't know. Rhythm games are a lot of fun, and I don't know. It depends on the music. I think. I think the music is gonna help to kind of dictate how much I like this or not. And then of course, the gameplay as well. But visually, not impressive this day and age when we're getting ready for the next gen of VR on PS5.
I mean, not to jump the gun, but Fracked is insanely gorgeous compared to this game. Like it's like not even the same console.
The bar has been set pretty high in recent days, so yeah.
I'm not concerned so much about like, the level of I mean, even putting Fracked in the same sentence as this game is kind of ridiculous. But because there's plenty of like smaller indie games that like have a look like this that I've loved. My problem with the trailer is that nothing moves. Like for a game that's like kind of flashy and about music and probably moving and being on rhythm and everything like that, which is by the way cool. We haven't even talked about like how it actually plays when you're shooting. If you do things on rhythm, like you will gain power ups. Like so instead of just like doom, 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 shooting, if you're doing things on rhythm, like you'll send out homing missiles and that kind of things, and so you get more and more
so
powerful.
It's like a classic shoot 'em up thing where the better you do, the cooler your gun gets.
Yeah. And that's really appealing to me.
That.
But there's no movement in this game in terms of like this stuff coming at you. There's a static background. I just like I want to be traveling through space like Starship Disco. Like we've had a few other shooters and stuff that like haven't been crazy good, but some of the effects have been kind of cool to when you're moving through space. And this is very static. So I think that's the only thing that's holding me back from saying, oh yeah, I really can't wait. But I'll reserve judgment until I play it for myself.
Well, I'd also like to see some gameplay that shows off like how much movement is involved from you in terms of like, maybe if enemies are coming from here and there and then here and there, if the background doesn't change and I'm not moving, I'm still moving my body, right?
Yeah.
I can't tell from what I'm seeing here how much you move your body around. And that's kind of a big important thing in VR rhythm games. Like there's some where you just kind of feel like you're just kind of waving your hand or something. And then you've got Beat Saber and you've got Synth Riders and Box VR to some degree too, where you're actually like full body moving and you get into the rhythm of the thing physically. And that's usually what I think people are looking for. The footage kind of looks like the guy's just like holding the controller straight in front of him and shooting stuff on the beat, which is, I guess, satisfying mentally to hit it on the beat. But like for a VR rhythm game, you kind of want a little more physicality to it usually. I feel
it's an interesting choice to go with this guy who I think is one of the developers. I didn't do a side-by-side comparison, but like he comes home, he like falls on the couch, he's tired, he has no energy, and it's like I'm like, is this you don't want to start a trailer with like people being exhausted. I get like where they're going with it. They're like, okay, now he's like into the game and he's playing and he's having fun and everything's great and his tired day just went away. But that's I just think it didn't work for a trailer. Like I don't think that it was communicated very well. But you know what? I'll be playing this thing live tomorrow. I'll definitely stream it the second I'm able to, and we'll see if it's any good. Fingers crossed, man. I'm always rooting for those small indie titles that come out of nowhere.
Sure. And a $10 game, love it or hate it, it's only $10, so it's not too bad.
100%. Yeah, price goes a long way sometimes. Luber the Game Cat with the 549 euros says, how can you discuss anything other than the F word?
Fuck.
We already talked about Hump Day.
I feel like I'm missing something with that tip.
He's talking about Fracked. The F word this week is
Frack. We're going to talk about Frack, baby.
We're talking about Frack.
Press 1 in the chat if you played the Frack demo.
Press 1 and drop an F in the chat if you died in the Frack demo.
Drop a 1 in the chat if you play Frack.
Wow. Oh, God.
Come on, back me up.
Officially.
This would be the first time to drop. This would be the best time to drop an F in the chat, actually, because it's
all right. All right, so moving on. Guys, we have some unfortunate news, and that is Synth Riders has been officially delayed with no new date as of yet.
Yep.
They stated on Twitter earlier, they said, "Dear PSVR players, we are very disappointed, but sadly we have had to delay the launch of Synth Riders for the PlayStation VR. It's an unavoidable last-minute issue with the distribution that's outside of our control. We're grateful for your patience as we work with Sony to resolve this, and we'll announce a new launch date as soon as that happens." And then they say you can sign up for an email, blah, blah, blah. Devastated, guys?
No, I'm
not
actually not.
devastated, but I hope this means that they're putting more time and effort into getting us multiplayer at launch, which would be nice. But I'm guessing it's like a licensing thing. There's all these songs that they have. They got like The Offspring and Bad Religion and all this stuff. Like at some point, they might run into licensing issues on different platforms, or it's going to take longer or something. Like I can't imagine the game mechanically just isn't running right. It's not that crazy looking of a game. It's like orbs that are colored. So I don't know why it could be held up other than maybe multiplayer or maybe just like caught up in legal shit,
Yeah, I'm not terribly disappointed, honestly. It's this is a next week is a crazy week for PlayStation VR. We've got a few games launching next week already. As far as I know, D-Magnet is still on track. Winds and Leaves is coming on the 27th as well. This was supposed to be a third game to launch on the exact same day, and it's just like, well, sometimes a delay isn't the worst thing in the world. Like push it off a couple weeks, maybe a month, whatever it takes to get everything working the way that they need it to work, and launch, have a nice seamless launch, and get out of the way of some other games, man. It's like yesterday was Fracked Day. Like there was no point in talking about anything else all day long. It was fracked. It's like fuck everything else, fracked, right?
Not entirely, but yes, mostly. Well, fracked was the good thing that mattered.
So like I just it would suck if an amazing game like Synth Riders got overshadowed by some other amazing game that came out on the exact same day, and that's all I'm saying. So
it is surprising, though, that such a simple game could be so difficult to release on this platform. What is going on? Especially with like all the updates and stuff and stuff they've done over the years to it on other platforms. That's like you said, this can't be that hard of a game. I mean, I'm not a developer, but of all games, like this should be a pretty simple one. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't think that includes multiplayer. They didn't say that they delayed it because of multiplayer. They said some other distribution thing. So,
well, it's going to be a bummer if we have to wait and then still don't get multiplayer
and then have to wait for multiplayer as well.
I mean,
right?
I would count on it. I would absolutely count on that because, like I've been saying for a while,
it's going to kill the whole vibe, man.
I mean, it kind of already killed the vibe, right? It was like it was going to launch without multiplayer, and everyone was like, "Well, I'll just wait for multiplayer to drop, and then I'll buy it." I've been saying for a while that I really think that if it was just going to be like 2 or 3 weeks to get multiplayer up and running, that they would just delay the game 2 or 3 weeks to get the multiplayer up and running, right? And so I think whatever the problem is, I still think it'll probably launch without multiplayer. But we'll see how it all goes down. Our best goes out to everybody over at Kluge Interactive. Hopefully get everything sorted out, and you can get your game out ASAP, because I know there's a lot of people over here on PlayStation VR land that are really, really interested in playing it.
Yeah, I personally know a couple, and people are excited to play it, and I'm still excited to play it. It's a good game. I played it on the Quest. That's like the best thing about having the Quest is I get to preview some PSVR games that are incoming, and that's one of them. What's up, Dave?
So this is a brief fun fact that I learned that is related in some way to Synth Riders. They have The Offspring in there. Did you guys know that the lead singer of The Offspring has a PhD in molecular biology and completed a solo plane trip around the world and all this crazy stuff?
Did actually
he's crazy smart.
His name is Dexter Holland.
That's wild.
And he kicks ass live.
I need to go back and listen to Offspring more because I'm like, wow. I read the story about how "Keep 'Em Separated" was a line that he came up with when he was working with tubes in a chemical science lab or something. He was like, man, these things won't cool down. We got to keep them separated. And he was like, oh, that's a cool line. I'll use that. But it's just like, what? It came from a science lab? Okay.
That's one of the things people could be really excited about. Like I've said before we move on to the next game, is that the music in Synth Riders is really cool. I love synthwave music. But then also those DLC packs have some good stuff in them. They've got stuff like Muse, Muse is like something I've been dying for in either a rhythm game or in Beat Saber. And they actually have like some great, a couple of great Muse songs. They've got Offspring, they've got Pennywise, they've got Bad Religion. They've even got Time Bomb from Rancid in there, so some punk rock. They've got some metal in there, like real metal, even though it's not like 100% the metal that I listen to. It's very close and it sounds good overall. And I think the one thing people can look forward to this game over Beat Saber is there's two things really. Number one, the music. Number two, the multiplayer eventually when we get there. Actually, three things. And number three would be that this game actually, I think some people will like the fact that it makes you dance. I've played with like Tiffany, Creeper Betty, Hack, and Diz, the Game Cat, bunch of Game Cats, and we were just having a grand old time in the multiplayer and stuff, and they were talking about like AJ, we know how much you love swing music, and I'm like, yeah, of course I don't like swing music really, but when you're playing the game and it's making you do these goofy swing dance moves and stuff, it's a lot of fun. So that what makes Synth Riders so fun is that it ends up being a little bit more like dancing than Beat Saber is.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why Run Dorothy Run Dorothy Run was the most underappreciated game of 2017.
Well, that one also sucked in terms of rhythm games that for some reason you like.
But that one was fun. It made you move in similar ways, and it had the electro swing soundtrack. And despite the fact that like everything else in between that stuff is garbage, I still had fun with that game.
Well, I mean, for me, electro swing soundtrack, just as AJ said, is not like a selling point of it. Electro swing is like the cheesiest style of music I can imagine. But
all right, guys, let me get a few tips before we move on to the next story. And the first one comes to us from Donatello, dreaming about PSVR 2 Game Cat with a $5 tip. Says, Brian, you going to use that green screen for your live stream tomorrow? Ooh. It's an excellent idea. Donnie. And
green screen.
Yeah, did I not talk about this on the last GAMESCAST? So, very generous.
No, you told me personally, but I'm just pretending to be surprised.
A very generous GameCast sent me one of those personal green screens where you just kind of it's like all wound up and you just go and then it's just like you put it up behind you. It's green screens are just kind of hard to put up in general. Like when I used to have bookshelves, it was easy to do, and now like in front of my game space, like there's just no room. So we'll see. We'll see if I have time to get that all set up. We also have Looper the Game Cat with the €229. Says Dave said orbs.
Orbs.
Nice.
Orbs.
Looper's paying attention. I like it. That guy is Will VR with the $2 tip. What's up, Will? Says any news on that heavily rumored Squishies 2?
I think it's been delayed.
Yeah, it's called Wind Wind.
Yeah.
It's the spiritual successor to Squishies. Will go check it out. Wind.
Yeah,
and it's probably
summer.
Yeah.
The Genetic Blasphemy with the $4.99 tip says, did you guys see or talk about the last video store yet? I just saw a trailer today and I'm jazzed about it.
I'll take this one, Brian. We are moving this. This is one of the things we're moving to the Friday discussion. Yeah. But yes, I've seen it. It's definitely has.
So you're saying I need to watch it because we're talking about it on Friday?
Yes.
Yes, you're gonna have to. You're gonna want to. Yes.
You have to put aside a minute of your time to watch a trailer.
It's
it's just a trailer. Okay.
I think you're gonna need more than the trailer. You're gonna need to do a little more research because it's kind of a confusing premise that they have for it.
It's not out, right?
It's not out yet. No.
Okay.
But we are going to be talking about the last video store on Friday for sure. But today, guys,
there we go.
Today we're going to be talking about a game that just stealthily came out, as I like to say, stealthily swung its way onto PSN, and that is after 2 years. I've waited 2 years for this damn game. Mm-hmm. Tarzan VR finally
I can't do that. I can't do the fucking screen.
Brian did a really good one on his
I want to hear yours, Brian, because I didn't prep first.
He's good at that.
Yeah, you have to watch the stream. Man. You have to watch the stream.
Give me one for free. I'll tip you for it, actually.
I'm good, man.
I'll put a tip in there.
Okay. What kind of dancing monkey do you think I am?
My favorite kind.
Here comes all the things about smashing locks. Brian, why don't you go ahead and take this one away, and I've got some things to say.
All right, yeah. I mean, I guess I'll start. Like my first impressions were pretty rough because I mean, it's doing everything. First of all, when you're doing everything on stream, I just want to say sometimes things can be a little bit difficult. Sometimes like you're trying to like listen to the chat, you're talking to the chat, and then the people in game are also talking to you, telling you what to do, or there's indicators on screen that you might have missed, something along those lines. And so there were some simple things that I missed in this game, but I will tell you that I didn't miss much. In most of my problems from the game stemmed with the game itself. But honestly, I played through the entire thing today. It took about 2 hours. I started over, started from scratch. Really wanted to see everything that I missed. I wanted to play with the patch that dropped yesterday too, and see what the deal was. And like, I know that AJ is going to violently disagree with this opinion, but I had fun.
Ooh.
I had fun despite the fact that it's not a good game. Right, and some games are fun despite itself, and this is one of those examples. And I mean I have a laundry list of complaints about it, but like overall, it does a bunch of things that I do like, and a bunch of things that were terrible. So those are my first impressions or my feelings on the game currently. We can go deeper, but I want to hear more from AJ first.
Well, I got a couple of questions for you guys before we get too deep. How often do you hear the theme song in the game? At all? Not even once? From the trailer, the fucking crazy.
You don't hear that once. No.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. That's instantly.
I thought it would start with the game, like jamming out to the Tarzan theme song. Did you get to grab people and flip them over like they show in the trailer? Was that a mechanic? Because I just saw shooting and stuff.
Listen, first. We want to give a shout out to Dimash Smash. Okay, and he had to teach me how to say his name, right? We were talking over on the boxed in Discord, and he said you got to think of the monster mash. He said you do the mash, smash. And I was like, now I'm going to think of the monster mash every time.
Yeah,
I see his
name. The mash.
Thank you so much for the $2 tip. The mash smash. He said Tarzan sad.
Tarzan sad. Tarzan should be sad. But let me go ahead and tell you.
Go ahead, AJ. Sorry, I was just.
I liked what they were going for on paper originally, which was this Tarzan explore the jungle adventure kind of game, and it has this like comic book overtone, like it's got this like 1970s comic book ridiculousness about it that I think is actually really charming and pretty cool. The overall look of the game, it looks okay. There's more to that is not okay. But overall, like there were some moments in the game where the jungle and stuff is like sprawling jungle. It's really lush, really dense forest stuff, and it actually looks pretty. And then the third thing I liked about this game, there's only three, and then there's a long list of not the things I didn't like, but the third thing I liked was that it was like semi-interactive. Like they actually went for having some lots of reaching out and grabbing and trying to keep everything to stuff that you actually have to physically do versus just like, clicking a button or something.
Yeah, I mean, actually, semi-interactive seems like the lowest bar to clear for a VR game. It's actually you can actually do stuff with your hands in it. Like, that's not a high bar.
Brian, what'd you think of the look of the game?
I mean, it was fine. It was obviously not a port of the PC VR version like this. I was watching the PC VR version earlier, and I was like, wow. I was like, because I had said some nice things about the visuals during my stream. I was like, oh, it doesn't look bad. And, like, this looks all right. It's like the resolution was decent, and it had a nice like style to it. But you look at this trailer, you look at the PC VR footage, and it's just like, whoa, like it is dramatically different. But
right.
But that's fine. We're kind of used to that at this point. When you got to make everything run on the OG, it's like things do get sacrificed at some point.
Well, the entire underwater got sacrificed, right?
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah, you go underwater and it's just like blue
Yeah.
with like maybe one gigantic polygon to show like that maybe there's something over. There's nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah. That was definitely my most disappointing thing. Well, no, wait, hold on. No, that's one of the most disappointing things was expectations-wise. You look at the trailer, they're playing in the water. There's like these beautiful, if I recall correctly, there's like these beautiful coral and like fish and stuff. And you go in this game, and there's like a couple fish swimming around, and then there's like one clam just sitting there,
Yeah.
and that's like all of the ocean. The rest is just like, so I don't even know where to begin, guys. Let me start with the thing that I thought was absolutely insane, and that is the audio in this game.
Yeah.
I have never, ever seen a game that was the audio design alone was game breaking. I don't think I've ever experienced or felt or thought that in my life. And the audio was so bad. You have the characters, the enemies talking. You have the your character talking. You have the story thing talking. There's radios that you go around that are talking. There's gorillas in cages that are talking, going, smash the lock, Tarzan, smash the lock, Tarzan, Tarzan, smash the lock, and you can't even smash it because it's janky and it doesn't work properly. And then on top of that, you're picking up a little dialogue book, and it's got Jane's voice talking. It's got all these comic book noises. I've told you before, I am very sensitive to sound design, to music, to stuff in video games. It is very important to me, and I'm very sensitive to it. And this was some of the worst audio design, just 20 things at once. And I didn't even mention that there was like music on top of that. The soundtrack is actually pretty good, but I couldn't even hear it over the sound of the million other things going on.
Yeah, I think the soundtrack is decent. I agree with you on that. And there's a lot of people. There's constantly characters talking over each other, and there were definitely times where I would clear out an area of enemies, and then I'm like looking around trying to figure out how to progress. Like we'll get to that in a second. But then I'd hear an enemy say, "He's over there, get him," or "Let's flank him," and I'm like.
Yeah, and you don't know where they're coming from
because they're
like
not
really
anywhere.
Away.
Like there is no 3D audio whatsoever. Like I don't even think it's stereo audio. It's just like here's a voice like right here in your face, and it doesn't matter if they're like not even visible. The guys right next to you and the guys way over there sound like they're exactly the same distance from you. It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, that's it's definitely an issue for sure.
That's one thing. Games, these kind of games are about being immersive. There's you want to, the kind of joke. Okay, this is kind of a joke, but I was saying like the most important thing about this game is that do you feel like Tarzan? Because that's always been like a running gag for a while.
Yeah.
And the truth is, no, you feel like Spider-Zan. Which is like, because the swinging, this was something else that really bothered me, was like they didn't get the swinging. I found that, I don't know about you, but to me, the swinging was incredibly unsatisfying. It's not, there's a vine, you run out there, you jump and you grab it. Just like 99% of like other games would do this. And it introduces what I like about that is that it introduces like a platforming element to the game. Like it's like, it's all about your skill of having to jump and grab and swing and stuff like that. I mean, this is dating back to the like, some of the earliest video games that is a simple mechanic. Like even I want to say like Donkey Kong Jr., where you're like there's like vines, there's like lines of vines, and it's all about jumping between those vines and stuff. But the gameplay just overall, again with the swinging, Brian, I don't know how you felt about it, but to me it was like what happens is you get close enough. And it says grab, and you Spider-Zan it, and it just a vine appears out of nowhere, and you swing, and then it says grab, and you Spider-Zan, and you're just Spider-Zan.
Yeah, I'm actually fine with that, right? With the way that they're like, okay, like it's like okay, now reach out and pull the trigger, and now suddenly it's like it sort of magically appears. But you get into a rhythm, and you get to do it for the most part, and it feels fine to me. But my biggest problem was that like it didn't register properly like half the time.
Right.
Where I was like, okay, so let's set the scene here, right? I'm running through the level. It's pretty fucking linear. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do, and then I just get to a dead end, and I'm like, well, where am I supposed to go? And I go and I backtrack and I come back and I go back and back and back and back and back, and I'm like, and I finally realize that there's a vine hanging way the fuck up there, right? And I'm like, oh, how am I supposed to get to that vine? And I'm trying to like run up the ledges and like run up the walls and like trying to like figure out any way to gain some height to get up there. Not happening, right? And I'm staring at it, and the icon is not appearing for me to grab it.
Right.
So if 20 minutes later, I come back to the same room and I'm standing 20 times further away from the vine than I was before, and then the icon appears from the ground. And I'm like, it's so inconsistent.
It's janky. It's so janky.
It's just inconsistent is the problem. If they were like, if they were like, just look at it and boom, the icon appears. But you have to be in the exact right location for it to appear. And sometimes when you're going from vine to vine to vine to vine, sometimes it's that next vine doesn't trigger the way it's supposed to. And I'm like, come on. And then I fall to the ground and just I have to either go back to the beginning or die in some quicksand or whatever the hell's beneath me. And it's just frustrating because they oversimplified the vine swinging mechanic, but then they also broke it. It was like, we're going to make it super easy for you to go from one to another, but then they didn't. And it's like, well, if you oversimplified it this much, at what point did you go, well, we're also going to like make it really difficult for some broken technical reason?
So I just felt the gameplay overall was a huge misstep on this game itself. That is a big problem with why I didn't enjoy it. Was like I said, the swinging, I didn't felt like it felt good. There was the combat, which is like, it's like waggle with your fists. I mean, and like, it's so comically bad. The swimming, they advertise, oh, you can swim in this game, and the swim, you do a stroke. You do like a just like one like breaststroke or freestyle, whatever swim style you want, and you like rocket out of the water like at 100 miles an hour, and it is just like, whoa, like what is this? Some of the level design, like I was digging it first, but then like I'm like getting into spaces where I'm not supposed to be, and like there's like this weird geometry to it, like issue. But some of this also led to some hilarious things, and there was some like hilariously bad stuff in this game. I think the one that I found the most funny was the country gorillas. Like the gorillas talk in this game, but some of them have country accents, and they're like I don't even know how many times I heard "Smash the Lock Tarzan" yesterday. That's why everyone's putting it in the chat, and because it was so awful. And then like I'm trying to punch the lock or break the lock or something, and it wouldn't work. So it's just sitting there, just like. But some of them have like country accents, so they're like all "Smash the lock, Tarzan." Like why do these gorillas have country accents? They're like, like I don't know, man. I just can't with this game. I feel like this game started out with good intentions, and then halfway through they got new something about it, new ideas, new design team overlooking it or something, went a completely different direction. This is when they came back with the whole meme trailer thing, with the weird song, and then I feel like this game is just an awful mess. And it turned into kind of a shitty IP cash grab at the end of the day, which is the end result in my opinion. And it does not feel good. It's $25. There's a reason that they just snuck this out onto this PSN store, because they know how shit it is. And they charge $25 for it, just hoping that people will buy it because it's called Tarzan and it sounds cool. Or people want to swing from vines in VR and stuff, and no, not acceptable.
Yeah. Crap. So, last question: the combat on the ground that I saw of you running around fighting guys, shooting them with bows and stuff, did that feel like Tarzan? Because I don't know anything about Tarzan, but I didn't know that I didn't know he just got run around the jungle getting shot at by dudes with explosives and stuff. I don't remember that part. Or like, let's flank him. Was that part of Tarzan? I thought he was just dealing with the jungle creatures and stuff.
I mean, did you read? This is based on like the books and shit. Like,
I guess I haven't read them, but in my head, Tarzan was the guy who swings through the jungle.
Yeah,
he rides on a lion. He's trying to save his girlfriend, but like, well, I know, but in the logo of the game, there's him. He's riding a lion.
No, I know, and there's a lion, and you don't get to ride him. I was disappointed.
Oh, that's crazy. I mean, that seems like false advertising.
Let me say real quick, man. You asked about the combat, and we didn't really talk about it. It feels like all the combat feels like Drunken Bar Fight, the game. Like, Drunken Bar Fight, the adventure.
Yeah.
Where it's like, the game tells you grab the guy with one hand and punch him with the other. And so that's what I was doing constantly. But man, the physics are just so awful. Where it's like I just sometimes like the game kept pushing me back while I was punching the guy, and so I'd be getting thrown through walls as I was holding him and punching him, and it just felt so sloppy and like just like a poor physics demo.
The faces are so. That was the other thing I was gonna say though. When you like punch them in the face, like their faces. One dude came at me and his eyes were like facing the other directions. Like one eye was looking left, one eye was looking right, and he was like looking up. And like, but you like punch them and their jaw like jiggles and like that's so weird. It's so weird and bad in every single way. I can't stand this game. It's a terrible game.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
I could go on and on, but yeah, I'm actually doing a review, so I mean I'll get all my my frustrations out in there, and I definitely want to highlight some of the more positive things that this game does, but like it's not positive enough to overlook all the negative stuff. This game needs so many more patches for it to be like enjoyable. Like I went through and I kind of had a little bit of fun, but I was like, man, the frustrations that I had to get past to enjoy the game. It's just unnecessary.
It's
totally
too much.
Unnecessary.
It's like right now, it's like a 2 out of 10 for me. So bad.
Oh wow! Yeah, and I'm way higher than that. I'd rather play this than VR broom racing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'd rather play none. I'd rather play a good game.
All right, you guys. So let's move on to our next story
good
of the
news.
Day. Yeah, the good news for sure.
The good news, guys, is that a Fracked demo dropped yesterday, and everybody got to play it because it was free. Also, the pre-orders went live. We got the pricing on it, and now it is time to talk about Fracked. Let's frack and go, guys. Let's frack and go. Who saw that coming? Who thought that they were going to have a demo? Nobody. That's the answer.
I thought we were the only ones who got a cool secret demo, but then everybody got one. Jesus, all right, that's fine.
What? Well,
how dare they give them? I didn't realize there were other YouTube channels out there other than without Parole. How dare
I'm
they?
just saying, I didn't know it was going to be. Yeah, no, but it's fucking gorgeous from the very first second you drop into it.
Yeah.
The lighting, the colors, the art design, everything is like, and you can tell this is actually PS5 enhanced because it looks like maybe the best game I've seen on PlayStation VR. Am I wrong? Like, it's incredible.
You say the best looking game?
I think so.
I think it's one of the best looking games.
I mean, it's up there with Astrobot, and that's hard to get up to. It's just so crisp, it's
so colorful, man. The colors. Oh, it's so freaking colorful.
The colors.
Yeah, the colors. I think it looks like, to me, I best described it, I think, to me, is like Borderlands, but better. Like it looks a lot like Borderlands, but it's way more colorful. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit sharper. And there's I think a lot more special effects overall. Like the scale of enemies and stuff looks a lot better aesthetically and everything. And visually, it is a very, very pleasing game visually.
Oh yeah, and it runs super smoothly. All the skiing stuff is great. There's no frame rate drops or anything. It just feels very crisp.
Right.
Even if you are kind of like a motion sicknessy person, the downhill stuff probably won't give you much trouble, I don't think. A really cool action set pieces right from the start. That big kind of intro where you're flying off the thing and you grab on, and definitely like more interactive Blood and Truth vibes because it's like an action movie, but I'm not being directed from point to point. I'm doing my own thing. And we've got to say the cover system is probably the best cover system in VR. I love this thing. Basically, you grab onto a surface and you kind of lift yourself up and down. We had a little chat about this about Planet of the Apes in the chat earlier, but yeah, you grab on with one hand and you kind of like duck and dodge and dive, and it just works like inherently. The second you grab on, you figure it out, and you're like, oh, this feels good. I don't know. I've been talking for a minute. Brian, what do you think about this thing?
Yeah, I think the cover-based system is. I mean, obviously, the visuals are beautiful, and especially on the PS5 with dynamic resolution, it's like the sharpest-looking game that we have, and that's part of what goes into making it one of the most beautiful PSVR 1 games that we have. I mean, the art style is great. The colors really, really pop, and of course, the resolution makes all of that kind of come together, which is fantastic. Also, shout out to Ace Build the Attack Cat with the $4 tip. Says comfortable. Fracked is just so damn comfortable. That's very true.
Yeah.
I will say I've heard a few comments from people saying that the skiing did make them sick, and so for those people,
really, I've heard.
I have not. The only issue I had was occasionally I would go off a big jump, and then when I landed, I had this momentum that I'd end up in a spin, like a circle. and like hit the wall and bounce off the wall and stuff. And I could see that being a little bit disorienting for people.
I saw Hunter, the game cat, says I played it on a base PS4 and it looked amazing. So just to clarify, and then of course when you're on the PS4 Pro, PS5, especially I think on PS5 it has uncapped dynamic resolution. So they took that cap off so it can just look as good as it can at all times,
and a better frame rate too. So that's super important to note. Is that if you do experience some motion sickness in the PlayStation 4 version, like if you're going to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 at some point, I mean like that. Hopefully it won't be nearly as much of an issue for you. But like Dave said, the cover-based shooting is what sells this game. As soon as you get past like, oh wow, this game is just fucking beautiful, then it's like, oh wow, it also plays really well. And this is, we've said before that Crisis on the Planet of the Apes is a game that like didn't do very much well or didn't do very much right, but what it did right was the cover-based shooting. And we've been saying for years now, why doesn't every game do this? And so
why doesn't any other game do? Like, it's crazy. But Frack shows, proof of concept fully developed here. It's a very good mechanic in the game.
Yeah. Jamie out with the $2 tip says, I haven't been this hyped for a game since Blood and Truth.
Nice. Yeah, Blood and Truth was also fantastic. But it's funny how this always got compared to Blood and Truth. It's like a lot of people compare it saying like it's like Blood and Truth, but not on rails. That's the thing. This game does have full locomotion, smooth turning, and everything on top of this amazing cover system. But it gives you the freedom to roam around. You just wherever you point the move controller is the direction you walk in. And then with the shooting, which is the other part of the gameplay and the combat and stuff, besides like climbing and ducking, the shooting feels really good. And what they've done is they've taken the pistol or the machine gun, whatever you use, and they've made it so. And Brian, I watched your interview last night. It was a great interview. Shout out to Jimmy Bauer. He is an awesome dude. I love how you put that under the name and under your name you put Met Yoshida once. I gotta laugh at it. I got it. I got the joke there, Brian. But no, the gameplay, the gunplay feels really good. It feels so satisfying just to ram that clip in and then cock the gun backwards and then just fire. And you just
you
can
sexual.
do that while moving.
It sounds sexual, Brian.
you can do that just while moving, while turning, while running, all sorts of things. So we haven't gotten to experience skiing yet. And the skiing when I first played it, the skiing I was like, well, it was a little weird, but yeah, it takes a second to get used to like, okay, just tilt your head.
Yeah.
Don't, but you can actually look around and stuff. And so that's nice. I ended up actually liking that. And if you turn too much in the air or stuff, like the momentum is just so strong that it like really throws you to the side or something and you smash into the wall or whatnot.
Yeah,
but I think it's all going to balance out once you just play it a little bit and especially once it gets to these sections where there's snowmobiles that you're shooting at and stuff, or enemies skiing at down after you and stuff. So all that is going to be super insane when you're skiing and then you're like reloading the gun and firing. That is very like James Bondy in my opinion.
Well, and I think also the interesting thing about the skiing that I noticed was there were multiple paths, and some of them would have like a little collectible coin on them or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like you'd take the harder path and you'd get some kind of coin. And I don't know what that means in the context of the game, but that leads me to believe that there are branching paths to some degree to get collectibles and stuff and explore a little bit. That's always good. Like you're not just on one straight path. You can come down the mountain at the beginning and say, I want to go left or I want to go right. Left looks more dangerous, but more fun. And that's where the coin is. And so like, it gives you those little options that make it seem a little more freeform and not so just like linear, just like I'm going down the path,
Yeah, Matt Regan in the chat says, I was watching a stream from the UK and they were holding ski poles. I wonder if that's a different version that was sent out for review. Yes, actually, so it wasn't a different version. It was just a pre-patched version, and that's something I miss. I've been begging Endreams to put the ski poles back in there because at least when you're going down, eventually you're gonna have guns and stuff while you're skiing, and you're gonna be shooting while skiing, and so it doesn't make sense to have poles. I get that, but like just for the initial like intro when you're going down the mountain and like you're like in the crouched skiing position, I felt good to have those, and I was even doing let's get moving here. And it wasn't helping the speed, but
I was gonna say it doesn't do anything, right? But
no,
you feel
but it was,
more immersed. You feel
totally.
more immersed, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think they probably got tired of. I think they probably got some feedback of everybody saying, "Oh, I wish these did something," instead of just holding them.
Maybe, but I'd still rather have them and have them do nothing than not have them at all. And in Miles Dyer, when I was talking to him about it, he was like, "Yeah, he's like in at that very beginning part or the end of the first skiing section when you're flying through the air. It would be great to see him fly out." Out of your hands, you're like, oh no, I lost him, and then that's why you don't have him for the rest of the game. And I was like, that would make so much sense. I love that idea. Oh, yeah. So anyway, my 2 cents, but it's kind of silly to even complain about it.
Well, it would also be fun to keep them so that if you came next to a guy on a snowmobile or something in the skiing part, you just smack him in the face with the thing, and then you keep going, right? A little bit of road rash.
Yeah, I mean, unless you use the gun in your hand, but
well, no. But what if my gun's out of ammo? I need to smack him in the face. Come on, it happens.
I have a melee option.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Grab it from your back.
So yeah. Two tips. One comes from Dragon's Eye 76, and he's got a nice emoji that says critical hit. Thank you so much for the $5 tip, Dragon's Eye 76. Much appreciated. We also got Rody the Game Cat with the $20 tip, which is going to be a perfect segue. He says, I want Dreams to keep the bug where my glove goes ziplining without me. Hilarious. I haven't seen that. That's funny. The demo is an abject lesson in how to sell a game. My first pre-order since I got burned by Torn. So thank you very much, Rody, for the support. I do want to ask you guys, though, kind of the topic of the show. We've been basically praising Fracked for 24 hours now, and I'm curious to know, if you guys think that something could go wrong here, and that this game delivered a fantastic demo, and that possibly the rest of the game is just bland and uninteresting, something along those lines. What could go wrong?
Nothing can go wrong, Brian. It is a bad topic. I don't know why it was put in the headline. I have
plenty of things to say.
Nothing could go wrong. It could be amazing. Okay, look, honestly, the only thing that could go wrong is if it's 4 hours or less. That's that's one of the few only problems.
The enemy variety in the demo was entirely non-existent. At the very end, they added the guys with the crystals on their backs, right? But the entire time, you're just shooting the same guy over and over again. He doesn't have different weapons. He doesn't look different. Mm-hmm. He's the same guy. And I think that if there's not enough enemy variation as they go through, that could become tedious, where it's I'm just shooting the same fucking dude in the head over and over again. I love the game. It looks great, but you need new and interesting opponents to keep it interesting to be doing gunplay, right? If I can just shoot all these guys, boom, 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 and they don't have a special weakness, or there's not a boss, or something that changes up the flow of just this stream of enemies. I think that could be kind of not a huge problem, but kind of a problem, to some degree.
Stingray X, the price is confirmed, just so you guys know. It's a $30 game for the standard edition and $35 for the deluxe. $35, you get to play it 3 days early, and there's a ton of extra content. There's soundtrack and a digital art book and a bunch of custom skins for your equipment and your weapons. So it sounds like it's worth the $5 just to play it 3 days early, but then you get shit on top of that.
There's also a discount for pre-ordering.
There's also that PlayStation Plus discount, so don't forget. So it's a pretty cheap game overall for the quality that we're getting. Yeah. I'm not concerned about the price, but it seems like the chat is pretty concerned about the length. I asked Jimmy Bowers during our interview, I said, how long is the game going to be? And he goes, I wonder what I can say about that. And after pondering it for a second or two, he was like, I don't think I can say anything about that. And I was like, okay, let's move on. Yeah. And I chopped it out of the interview. And so they haven't even given us an estimate, although we have seen in the menu select screen of the demo that there are chapters. Were there 8 chapters?
Yes.
In the demo,
and I heard this is
through
the first two.
We don't know how long the second chapter goes for.
Well, but the other thing too is in terms of chapters, Sniper Elite, we could play the first few chapters and shut off, but they were really short. And then later you could have one that's an hour long. Right. So there's nothing to say that chapter 5 isn't a way more expanded version of chapter 1 or something where there's a lot more content to it. So it's hard to say based on this that this slice of 2 chapters is going to be the same as all the other chapters, right?
Yeah. It has to be no less than 5 hours for me to be satisfied. It is at least 5 hours. And they said that the demo was 40 minutes. The first time playing it, it took me about 30 minutes. So I don't know. Usually most people, most companies tend to overestimate. Yeah, they really overshoot on the how long their game is. But some of that is about like just different skill levels. Some of that is different play styles and stuff. So it's not necessarily. It's like if you just run from start to finish, one of those types. I typically like to take my time. I like to explore, and they've given you stuff. They've hinted that there will be stuff that'll reward for like like you said, there's like maybe alternate paths.
There's coins and stuff
these
to
coins
collect.
that you can collect, stuff like that. So I'm typically like I like to explore all around, especially if I have incentive like that to do so. Yeah. And I really like I like to sit there and look at the mountains for a minute. Like I don't like to just rush through a game all the time. Depends on what the game is. If it's a puzzle game, I sure do. But
Acefield the Attack Cat in the chat said Iron Man VR load times, and at least the Iron Man VR demo had also super long load times. So we were sort of like, getting ready for that, being like, is there any way the game could possibly have load times that are this long? And this was like, pretty quick. There weren't like super long.
They were kind of long, but they were.
I don't recall thinking of them like.
Yeah,
they didn't
I definitely thought about the load times being a little long, but that loaded the entire level. Like, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't a. There wasn't load times in between while I'm in the middle of a firefight or moving to the next section. It was the entire level. It seemed like was what it loaded. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. And as far as like the length of the game goes, if we get like 5 to 7 hours, even 5 hours at this level of quality for the price they're selling it, I will still be over the moon with this game because it's like so fun and so well made. Like, I don't expect to get 10, 15, 20 hours out of this, but if it's 5 hours, I'll be satisfied. For like $25 or whatever they're selling it with PS Plus.
Made a little comparison to Blood and Truth again, where Blood and Truth was, for me at least, it was 5 hours, but half of the game was cutscenes that you had to sit through.
Yeah.
2.5 hours of it. 2.5 hours of Blood and Truth was actual action-packed gameplay.
It's stuff I didn't get. The extra stuff is stuff I didn't care about.
Right. The cutscenes were cool, though, actually. I like the cutscenes of Blood and Truth. The facial animations and stuff were really well done. The acting was good. I don't know. The first time through, at least. Yeah.
I'm okay with if it's 5 hours minimum. Like I typically like no less than like an 8-hour game on a normal basis, but I can do 5 hours if it's like action packed from start to finish. It's really fun. There's enough variety. And now we have seen some other enemy types. These are there's some other enemy types. There's some other different things where you're skiing sections and they're on snowmobiles. There's these big hulking things that they've shown that are like a lot stronger than your normal enemies. So there's I've seen a couple different things. But yeah, I think variety is going to be important as well. Variety in gameplay, visually, but the game looks so good. Like I could definitely get lost in there for 5+ hours.
So I know we're actually currently wading into the potential negatives, and we went through the positives already, but we didn't even say soundtrack. The soundtrack fucking
so
rocks.
Good.
It's so good.
Yes.
Like the style is oozing out of this game in every facet. The visuals, the sound, the way it all just works together, like it's just something else. So like we got to mention the soundtrack.
Absolutely. That beginning part as you're going down on the skis and it's got that like light little techno music starting out and then it honestly gave me some like PS1 vibes, like PS1 like Ridge Racer or some kind of Gran Turismo vibes from PS1. I was just like, God, this feels like a PlayStation game. It's so great. It was hitting me with a little bit of nostalgia there. But it also like would transition to like this orchestrated epic music as, something more epic was happening. And then when you actually get to the fighting stuff, then it's like this blend of like rock and like synth wave kind of blend. And like, the sound, the music, everything's excellent. Absolutely excellent music.
Justin Cassidy has a really good idea, kind of a la Crisis Brigade, where they tie in movie stuff. End Dreams, Xmas DLC, Frackatomi Plaza. Let's go.
There you go.
Die Hard, baby.
Yes.
That sounds great. Yeah, I guess, the last thing that kind of worries me is that, it's going to be a pretty linear game. It seems like a pretty linear game so far. Dave mentioned like different paths and stuff, but it's like just kind of like wider levels to
they
kind of
end
get
up
you to
at
the same place.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Which is fine, but like one of my big complaints about Farpoint that I still kind of can't get over is that like when it goes wide, I'm always like I'm like looking in every single corner, and I'm trying to just see there's got to be something hidden around here somewhere. Something that Immortal Legacy did actually really well. Sorry for all the Immortal Legacy haters out there, but man, there were so many collectibles. There were documents to pick up. It was just like you were constantly picking up this other stuff in the game, and like I'm such a collectathon kind of guy that like I need to check all those boxes. And so far, we've seen coins where I'm like, and then after I clear out a room of enemy, I haven't really seen anything to like go and like check out, right? So I mean, if it's just trying to do like the first person shooter thing and keep everything moving and keep it high energy, high action, then they're succeeding. But there's going to be a couple boxes that aren't quite checked for me, to get a complete gameplay experience. And so that's the only thing that like is a little bit worrying to me, that it's going to feel a little bit shallow because of the lack of those things. But we'll see when we get our hands on the final game. And that's it.
But I'm very excited. This is like, I don't know. They've done a great job here because they've people who were worried about pre-ordering, who didn't know much about the game, whatever, are like on board. Everybody's like, "Oh, I pre-ordered that as soon as I finished it."
Yeah.
And I'm gonna feel like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is one that I don't know what our. Obviously, I think we're on good terms with them, but yeah, I'm so tempted to pre-order the deluxe edition right now.
Yeah.
I got to talk to them first and see what.
Even
what
if they're going to give me a key, I would pay them money for this because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is one of those games. Like this game to me, guys, honestly, has the potential to compete with like Saints and Sinners, in my opinion, and how I feel about that game. This is like if this game lives up to the potential of what the demo has teased us with, this is like a top 5 or top 3 game for me personally, because it is fun, it is action packed, it's beautiful, it does everything right control wise, it does it's got the action, it's got the special effects, it's just got everything right. And that's what I loved about Saints and Sinners, was it did everything right. We didn't have to go, how did they not know about this, or how did they know, and I understand that it's just hard. It's hard to know everything all the time, but do a little research. That's another reason I'm excited about Arashi. Arashi studied Sirento and Saints and Sinners to make that game and the control scheme and stuff. So,
or they told you that to make you feel better about it. Like one or the other, People say a lot of stuff, and then we were like, "Are you sure you played Saints and Sinners? Are you sure?"
Yeah. Stacey Allen S. release date. It is coming August 20th. 1 month from now, less than a month away.
Or August 17th for the deluxe edition. You can play it 3 days
early. Or if
early.
you get the deluxe edition, you get it 3 days early as well. And you also get some like new ski gloves and stuff. That's actually what made me think about the Arashi skins was I saw like the gloves and I was like, oh, I would like other gloves and stuff. Other like gun skins and glove skins and stuff. But man, just the combination of skiing, and might I say, the skiing is so much better than Dream Borders, than snowboarding and Dream Borders.
Don't say that.
This blows Dream Borders out of the water. People told me a million times to put guns in Dream Borders, and I'm like, I have no idea how to do that. This is that game, guys. This is the game you were looking for. Leave it to End Dreams. Leave it to the pros, man. Because this is such a brilliant combination of just random shit, and it's all fueled by just like the adrenaline rush, man. This game gets my adrenaline rushing. Oh my God, I can't even. The adrenaline, so much adrenaline in this game, and that's what I just can't wait to experience the full game with. Good God, I was like, ugh.
Quick tip from Master Game Catster. Bam! The $20 tip. Woof, thank you. He says, catnip for Tornado and Carlos. Chew bone for AJ's dog. Sorry, brother. Never heard his name.
Rock.
Oh, I got to do I'm sorry. I have to do the prop thing again. I'll be right back.
He's named after Rockman, which is Megaman's Japanese name.
Right. I was actually just reading an interview in EGM with Kenji Inafune about the creation of Megaman. And he was saying that in Japan, he's like, if somebody says the word rock, the first thing they think of isn't a stone. The first thing they think of is rock music, and he goes, that's what it was named after. And I was like, that's weird that in the U.S., if somebody says rock, We think it, but like because of what Mega Man is and all the different bosses that are like Fireman and this man and blah 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 man, it's like I would immediately think they're talking about a Stone Man, despite the fact that I love rock music. So
yeah, it is actually it's a mix between that. It's rock music. It's also Mega Man. He had a sister cat named Roll too.
He said the first time he heard the name Mega Man, he thought it was silly. I love that. I was like, the guy who created Mega Man was like, I don't know about that.
Oh man, but guys, I can't wait for this game. This game's gonna be so damn good, guys. Everybody, I can see. Yes, I can see all the excitement in the chat. I'm so glad. I think they are nailing the marketing here, putting a demo out. They have expressed to me that they are super confident in this game, and they're backing it up by putting a demo out there for people to play and saying, look, like, we know how good this game is. I had a good feeling after playing Phantom Covert Ops, which sticks you into a kayak the entire time. It's basically Metal Gear kayaking. Being stuck to a kayak the entire time is the only drawback to that game. But for what they did with that, it is absolutely incredible. And that gave me tons of confidence in this game, being that it is like a, full locomotion, brilliant cover system. And I agree with you guys that I hope the rest of everybody, I hope other people use this cover system as well, because it really should have been like a normal thing. But the music, the action, all of it, man, so good. Can't wait. Can't fracking wait, guys.
I think that's
wait.
I think it's a good segue to move us into our final part of the show, which is Video Game 20 Questions, PSVR edition. The host this week is Dave, and so Dave's got a PlayStation VR game in mind. That means AJ and I
do.
And the rest of you guys out there have to come up with 20 yes or no questions to help us figure out which game he's thinking of. We're also going to put, I believe it's 6 minutes on the clock, and if we run out of time, we officially lose. Also, we can't scroll back in the comments. That's a new rule too.
I got two things to tell you guys. First of all, you didn't even give me time for my prop.
What's your prop?
About catnip.
I can't see you half the show. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay.
What's up?
It's okay. He was talking about getting us some catnip for Carlos. Carlos is set. I accidentally bought a bag this big, not realizing he has Carlos catnip for the rest of his life.
One day you're going to come home, and it's just going to be everywhere.
Oh,
and Carlos is just going to be like rolling all over the floor.
Oh my god,
it's going to be tripping balls.
It'll be great. Mm-hmm. Second of all, you're going to lose this one. I'm telling you straight up. I got you. I can tell.
I like the challenge. Yeah, okay, cats.
No way.
We need everybody on board. Everybody needs to like put your thinking caps on, put your VR headsets on, and if somebody go to the store and help us out. Shh, I'm not telling you to cheat, but I'm kind of telling you to cheat. All right.
Oh, you're not going to find this.
On our mark, get set, go. 6 minutes on the clock. Go ahead, AJ.
Is it on the North American store?
Yes, it is on the North American store. Good question.
Yeah, and from future reference, we should never have a game that's not.
Oh, why not? I want to do Horror Sense one day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, fine.
Also, does it? This developer, this is my favorite question. Does this developer make other VR games, other PSVR games?
Yes, they have.
Oh, okay.
They have.
I love it. Okay.
Is it an experience?
No, it's not an experience.
Do you shoot things in this game?
I'm gonna give away how. Okay, so you can. Okay. Don't ask me that one. Skip that one. That's not gonna be useful to you.
Okay, we'll skip that one. You're keeping track of the questions.
Yeah, you did. That one didn't count. You're good.
Okay. Does it support the Move controllers?
No.
Are there aliens in it?
Fuck. This one is going to be hard to answer questions about. Pause the timer. Are there aliens in it?
I'm so confused already.
Shit. Are there aliens in it? I think so, but that's not going to be a useful question either. I'm going to give you guys a lot of passes on this one. Okay. So maybe you will win, but skip that one.
Resume. Can you also play this on a flat screen?
You can play this on the flat screen.
That's going to be really helpful.
It is going to be very helpful.
Is it right behind me?
No.
Is it any of the games behind me?
No. Is that two separate questions? I said no twice.
Yeah, it's one question. I don't think you
answered
a separate question.
No, that's what I meant. Is it any of the games listed behind me?
No games behind you.
Okay.
Okay.
But one of the games behind you, I'll give you a hint. One of the games behind you would kind of give you the same vibe as the game I'm thinking of. That's going to throw you off even more. Forget I said that.
This is so strange. I'm so confused right now. If I can play it on a flat screen is helpful. They've made other developers made other PSVR games. No move support. We don't know if there's aliens or if you shoot stuff. Is it
you control?
Well, technically both, yes, but not like exactly. I don't know how to say it.
Has it ever been on one of our top 25 lists?
No, never.
Okay.
And it will never be.
Brian, is Along Together? Is that flat screen?
No.
Okay. Is it? Do you control a third-person character, or do you control a little character on the screen?
I made this one too hard. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. But you are embodied in. You're a person,
right?
But there's a guy. Yeah.
There's a guy.
There could be a guy or a girl, or depending on whatever. I don't know how to. This is so hard.
What question
and I'm going to roll this back and give you even a better hint. So this game, I thought this company had released other games on VR, but their properties that they own have had other games released under their IP that they did not personally develop themselves, if that makes sense.
Okay, so they didn't. So this developer did not make other VR games.
From what I'm looking at here, I don't think so. It looks like they licensed out their properties to other people to make the games with.
Okay,
does
so
game have
who has other properties? AJ, this is very important.
I have no idea, but does this game have any sort of co-op?
Yeah, but it's not very good.
Thinking it might be like Salaryman Escape or something, Brian.
No, I would never pick Salaryman Escape.
Okay.
Is it a puzzle game?
No, but there are puzzle games in it.
There are puzzle games in it.
What question are we on?
The first time I'm kind of showing my ass a little bit. There are puzzle games in it. You're on 12 is the next one. Yeah.
Okay. We got 2 minutes.
Does this sound like HeroCade? I mean, there are other games. There are other puzzle games.
There's no co-op. There's no co-op in it.
Yeah.
What has co-op?
But he said Dave said there are other puzzle games in it. He says not a puzzle game, but there are other puzzle games in it. So
also similarly, it's not a shooting game, but there are games where you shoot things in it. And also, I'm telling you everything here, but I think there's a game that has aliens in it in the game that I'm talking.
What's a game? Oh,
AJ got it probably.
Well, Pavo said Playroom VR, and I like where he's going with this. So we need to find. Okay, so you said it's not very good co-op though.
Just
Playroom
because
VR
of it had bad online connection.
Had an online connection.
Yeah, choppy online connection.
Online connection
for playing with each other.
Does it have?
Brian knows it, I think.
No, maybe I don't not. Actually. No.
Okay.
Does it have Astrobot in it?
Nope.
Okay.
And it can't be PSVR Worlds, right? Because there's no co-op.
No co-op.
I'm trying to think of games that have other games in it.
Yeah.
Pop saying things like Pierhead and Carnival games, which I'm like, I get that's like an interesting direction to take, but there's no co-op in Pierhead, and there's no co-op in Carnival games either.
Does the co-op does one person use something? Does one person use?
It's not going to go anywhere good. Go to the next one. You don't have time.
All right.
I can already tell you no.
Okay. The person doesn't. Does the co-op use a phone?
What? No.
Okay.
No. No phones. No phones.
Okay. So it's on console. We got 18 seconds.
Is it a collection of classic games?
Yeah, it is actually.
Is it the Sega Genesis Classic Collection?
Indeed, it is.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Flame Hat. Thank you so much, Flame Hat.
Yeah.
It was Flame Hat, or the Flame Hat was the one that I saw. So thank you very much. And sorry for taking over, but we had like literally 10 seconds left. I was like, we just got to guess or we lose.
I didn't think you were gonna make it. I didn't think you were.
I didn't think so either. I mean, I was just fucking lost. But you said the fact that it had other games in it like really narrowed down the search to like 5 games.
That's why I was trying to like not give that away too early because I did want to beat you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nice,
and that's a hard question to answer. Anyways, like, is it a shooting game? Well, there's games in it that are shooting. Yeah, of course, like Fantasy Zone's a shooting game.
Break the lock, Tarzan.
Shout out to Deathly, the subterranean death cat, with the 20 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much. He says, just got home and jumped in to say hi to you all. Gonna cook and watch from the beginning. Hit like. Love you all. Meow, meow. Yeah, please hit the like button, man. We don't say that enough. Thank you very much. All right, you guys, we're running a little bit over here, so I want to kind of wrap this thing up ASAP. I want to give a shout out to, of course, everybody that keeps this channel running, all the moderators over on Discord, all the moderators over here. They're the same people. They're doing fucking God's work for us. You guys are awesome. We also want to give a shout out, of course, to Donatello doing the question of the day over on Discord. We want to give a shout out to Miles Dyer, who runs our Instagram account. Make sure you head on over there and take that PSVR quiz. I think I got all the questions right, but one stumped me. I'll have to check. Also, shout out to Jay Meow, who's taking care of all of our SoundCloud stuff, working on a website for us. Absolutely killing it.
Spotify.
I wrote SoundCloud in my run of show, and so then I just read it. Right? So, yeah, Spotify and a lot of other streaming services. We'll make sure we get a full rundown of all of those at some point. And of course, we also want to give a shout out to SciFiGamecatHenry, who, after the show is over, usually sends me a whole lot of timestamps to put into it. That's why you get timestamps, because one guy is doing it all. So if you don't already, make sure you subscribe to Dave over at DayStation VR. Subscribe to AJ over at the Underground, PSVR Underground. I want to thank you anybody who donated in the chat tonight, keeping this channel running. Thank you all Patreon supporters, keeping this channel running. Thank you to everybody who participated in the chat tonight. And of course, thank you to all of you who sat back, watched the show, didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, because the numbers reflect that. We appreciate you, and we love you just as much. What do you think, guys? Cue the cat?
Oh, yeah.
Cat, Brian, let's fracking go, because I want to say see you Friday, guys. We got games coming out tomorrow, too. Woo! See you guys. Justin Cassidy, Frack, he says, I know. Everybody go download the demo and then pre-order the deluxe edition, because I told you so.
Wow. And also, if you're having trouble getting it, it looks like you might have to install the PlayStation app. In some cases.
If I end up giving Frack anything less than a 9 out of 10, I will give you your money back. MRI Gamer, thank you so much.
Wait, everyone's money back?
That's a lot of money.
If I give the game anything less than a 9 out of 10.
So you already told us your review score then.
It's at least a 9 out of 10.
If everything goes horribly wrong, AJ doesn't care.
Their confidence gives me confidence. Creeper Betty with the $9.99 donation says, get our freaking Fracked up. You guys.
Yeah, Betty.
Heart you too, Betty.
Smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button, Tarzan. Smash the like button, Tarzan. Deliver through. Bam. Duran Van DR. Ace Milky Attack Cat. Jason Crave Matter. Kill Cell. It's Kill Cell, baby.
Oh, yeah.
DJ the Pumpkin Patch Kid. Dan Kiefer, thank you so much. Steve IRE, always tuning in from Ireland. Matt Regan, thank you so much. Endeavor One, I want that DLC. Flame Hat, Game Cat, great job helping us get that with 10 seconds left. Hunter the Game Cat, good to see you, man. Stingray X, we'll see you Friday, dude. Ash VR, groovy. LWM McQuaid, the Cunning Cat, also a rocket scientist. Matzer, Game Catster, my dude. Gabriel 004, the licensed meow game cat. Meow, 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 meow. LC2552 Beats. Chairface, my favorite name ever. Pavo, thank you so much for helping. Chaos, Onikaze, good to see you guys. Death Lee, the subterranean death cat. Ooh, et.2k.9.now. Miles Dyer.
Don't get Brian started. Don't get Brian started.
Hey, and don't forget, join us, dude.
To you.
Our daily class of box VR session starts in 42 minutes. So if anybody wants to join in on that, what?
I haven't said this name forever. You got cold yogurt?
Yeah, I don't currently. It might be expired.
So make sure you join. Make sure you join us over on Discord if you want to join our daily box VR sessions. Just go into the Weight Loss Challenge and tell people that you want to play, and we will join you. We will add you to the voice chat, and we'll play the game with you, and we'll have fun, and we'll sweat a lot and get mad at stuff. That's it.
And also, we're going to continue the long-running tradition of hopping in the voice chat, I think, for a little bit after this to hang out with Miles and some other people. So if you want to come through Discord, link is in the description. Come on through. Let's hang out.
I won't be there. I'm going to go smash some locks. I don't know about you
Go
guys.
smash some locks, my friend. That's what I want for you.
All right,
What I
guys.
need to do.
We'll see you on Friday. We love you all.